Before 1966, rock music was constrained to 2-minute pop songs about love, ice cream, or people called Louie Louie. But times were soon changing. Rock bands started taking drugs and expanding their minds, with crazy, crazy rhythms influenced by jazz, classical, and many other things. It was a crazy time for music.
Quite literally, overnight bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were taking lots of drugs. And their music changed from I wanna hold your hand to I am a walrus.
Definitely drugs had a big influence on that time.
Although groups like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were getting slightly weird, they were still accepted by mainstream culture. But many underground acts like the Velvet Underground, Frank Zappa, the Stooges, and Captain Beefheart were taking music in even more uncharted territory.
Captain Beefheart, it was one of those things. The first time I heard it, I threw up for about 4 days.
Quick eyebrows dance cutely above a mole.
It wasn't a pretty sight, and then, no, the second time I heard it was a couple years after that. I actually pooped myself.
The bridge held a large gold pair of spectacles.
It wasn't very pretty, but the third time, I actually learned to appreciate it a little bit because I heard some of their out there stuff. They were alright, I guess. Listen to them every now and then. They're not one of my favorites, but I suppose I'll give them a shot. Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw the Velvet Underground in 1966 with Andy Warhol. I was really impressed. It was so different than what was going on, because at that time there was Flower Power, the Beatles, I Am the Walrus, and all that stuff. The Velvet Underground were really talking about different stuff that connected to me.
In the 70s, there was a rock movement called progressive rock. Some of these artists include Genesis, Pink Floyd, Yes, King Crimson, and Jethro Tull. These bands shared many similarities. Most of them were influenced greatly by classical music and jazz, experimented with many early synthesizers, experimented with several different song structures, songs often reaching 20 minutes long, and very strange time signatures. By the end of the 70s, progressive rock had died. Critical perception of these groups were poor. They were often perceived as wankers, pretentious idiots, and hippies, and mostly they just played 20-minute guitar solos. By the end of the 70s, punk music had taken over and taken rock music back to its core. Raw, powerful rock. But like progressive rock, punk died. Very soon, in fact, and punk bands were very tired of playing 3 chords and singing about anarchy and how they hate Margaret Thatcher. So this led to post-punk, a more experimental form of punk, which was greatly influenced by reggae music and dub, noise, and heroin. Lots and lots of heroin. Some notable post-punk bands include Joy Division, The Slits, Public Image Limited, Pere Ubu, and the Pop Group. These bands would be very influential on what we now know as indie rock.
That thing bit me!
A pinnacle moment came in 1982 with Grandmaster Flash's classic album, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, with its classic hit, Scorpio. Scorpio.
Show.